state your address. You have 3 minutes.
Of course. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa Brown. I live at 413 West Lambert Road in Sherman, Texas. In a prior comment, you Kane asked some of you all, what was the hesitation about the historical marker? And the comment was roughly, nobody wants to remember this dark, horrific piece of our history. However, the nation just commemorated the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks. We remembered and honored the dead and those injured. We have national monument to the USS Arizona in Pearl Harbor so that we can remember the dead and honor those who are injured. We have the Oklahoma City Memorial so that we can remember and honor the dead and those injured. We have Holocaust museums throughout this country so that we can remember and honor the dead and those injured. As a nation, we remember all sorts of dark and horrific history. This includes slavery. Just this year, Juneteenth became a federal holiday commemorating when Black people in Texas found out about the end of the Civil War with the defeat of the Confederate Army. Yet in our own public square, such history is obscured. The idea that the Confederacy was not about slavery, but rather was about states' rights is patently false. That is, it is a lie. When the Confederate Constitution actually takes away certain states' rights, including a state's right to abolish slavery. Article 1, Section 9.4 of the Confederate Constitution prohibited any restrictions on slavery. Article 4, Section 2.1 of the Confederate Constitution protected the rights of slave owners regarding their property, that is slaves, when traveling to non-slave states. Article 4, Section 3.3 of the Confederate Constitution claimed that if any new Confederate states or territories were established, slavery shall be legal in them, and that slave owners can take their property, that is their slaves, across these new state lines and not lose any rights of property. Every time I do business in or near this courthouse, I have to see held up in a place of honor in the public square a representative of the Confederate ideology and political movement that thought that people who are Black like me should be property. This is a brazen insult. The feelings of some Grayson County residents are sacrificed for a lie, while the feelings of other Grayson County residents are protected from the truth. This is a gross inequity, and it is shameful. Be people of truth who honor the feelings of all Grayson County residents and let this historical marker be erected. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Brown. All right. We now move to number 2, Audrey Holloway. Good morning, Ms. Holloway. How are you today?
Good morning.
Ma'am, again, you have 3 minutes to speak, and I'll let you know when you're about 30 seconds to go, okay? Go ahead, ma'am. If you just state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, my name is Audrey Griffin Holloway. I was born and raised here in Sherman. I live at 1313 East Turley Street, Struggle Valley, if you will. It's an addition built here in 1969 after the Fair Housing Act was put into effect. It's now called the Elmwood Addition. I stand before you today concerning as to why you choose not to put the historical marker on your agenda. I'm trying to read it because I know me, I'm long-winded. I've owned 2 businesses here. You may have heard of the Talk of the Town Soul Food Kitchen and Slap Your Mama Soul Food Restaurant. Even though the Grayson County Historical Commission has approved it, I knew his family. I knew of his sister. I knew of his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, Mr. Hughes' nieces, nephews. I knew most of the family. And I knew of this hateful, vicious act ever since I was a child. My grandfather was born here in 1896, Herbert Mitchell. And it's an awful thing that happened here, but it's not Sherman's dirty little secret. The world knows about it. I know the United States knows about it. It's been on the news. It's been on TVs. And it's a terrible thing that this man had to be, after burning, this vicious crowd stood out, hateful people, burned the courthouse down, then dug this man's charred body out of his charred remains out, drug him to what we would call Black Wall Street here in Sherman. Then they hung him. They burnt all the businesses down our taxpayers, our citizens' livelihood. And I just think it's a horrible thing. God's creation should not be treated as such. And, let me see what else I got to go down here. I would just like to admonish the court, if you will, to put this on your agenda and realize this man was somebody's loved one. And this was an awful thing that happened in Sherman, Texas, in Grayson County, and it should not be so. So I would appreciate it if you think you have it in your heart to please at least put it on your agenda and vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, ma'am. Coach, you ready? Cal, come on up. If you would state your name again. Coach Hall and I coached a very tough Pee Wee football team together. He's a head of players with Bearcats Thumper is his son's name. So, Coach Holland, you have the floor. If you have 3 minutes, and I'll give you 30 seconds.
All right, I don't think it's gonna take 3 minutes. My name is Calvin Holland, 2801 Kent Drive, Sherman, Texas. As a lifelong Sherman resident and the grandson of Preacher Pleasant, someone who worked in this downtown area, who also worked for the family that accused, I can't put the man innocent or guilty, I wasn't there. But he did not have the ability to get that, to make that happen for you. But I look at it like this, my grandfather worked for the family. The same thing could have happened to him, whether it would be a lie or it would be true. And there wouldn't be a Welby Pleasant. There wouldn't be a Sidney Pleasant. There wouldn't be very many Pleasants. He only had one son born at that time. So to acknowledge the fact that this courthouse burned is very important. And what's also important is to acknowledge all of the black businesses that left. So I personally think there should be 2 markers that should be brought on this agenda. There should be a space to acknowledge the black businesses and a marker for this courthouse. If there was, again, if there was a problem with my grandfather, I wouldn't be standing before you today. I wouldn't be able to coach with you. I wouldn't be able to run for school board. My brother wouldn't be on the city council. So it plays a bigger role than just people saying we need to get this done. There was people's lives at stake here. And I'm good. God have a great day.
Thank you, sir. All right. Ms. Fletcher, Jan Fletcher. Again, ma'am, if you just state your name and address for the record, please, and I apologize for that. Dean, all right, go ahead, ma'am.
Good morning, my name is Jan Fletcher. My home is at 1050 Hazelwood Road, Sherman 75092. I'm a retired entertainer and an active volunteer in several area groups. When we moved to Grayson County in 2007, being this involved in community affairs was not an interest of mine. But I've met wonderful people here. Learned a community is only as good as the people's hearts. Sadly, that cannot be said about our county commissioners, in my opinion. Many voters I speak with in the community do not understand your stubborn resistance. Why do the leaders of our county government hide from citizens who want to improve our area? Are you afraid of the county racists that finance your campaigns? Do they expect your single-minded loyalty? I will not repeat the historical facts that you're all aware of surrounding our request for a historical marker. You can access the information on our website, www.shermanriot.org. I became involved back in May of this year, and I have watched as the effort has grown from Melissa Field to encompass not only our county, but also the area, the state, and the nation. I've spoken personally with some of you. I've been involved in the May 8th commemorative service and the August town hall. Other communities have accepted the wrongs of their historical periods, and they are healing because of it. Acknowledgement is necessary to correct this tragedy and move forward. Week after week, you get an updated count of our petition signatures. Week after week, you hear from members of the community in the open section of your meeting. We continue our quest for riot history to take its place with the other markers on the courthouse square. What would be the problem to at least take the time to meet with our committee, to explain your reasons, or ask about your concerns? It's real simple. We can only guess at your motives since you won't give plausible reasons. If you would take the simple step, we could at least treat each other with respect instead of the distrust and frustration currently felt.
30 seconds, ma'am.
We are moving forward with our request and may be resorting to civil disobedience soon. History is on our side, not yours. The negative publicity you have received as a result of your refusal is not good for historical justice. So until that time, I implore you to stand for history and healing and demonstrate you do have good hearts. Place the historical marker for the Sherman riot of 1930 on your agenda and vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. All right,